Hello, everyone, and welcome to Horror After Midnight. Producer PopTart here, joining KC and Slinky, your hosts. And we have a very special guest with us tonight, Mr. Joe Ripple. Joe, please say hello to everybody out there.
Hey folks, how's everybody doing? And thank you very much for allowing me to come on and spend a little time with you tonight.
Yeah, the pleasure and the honor is
Yes,
ours, sir.
yes, we're very
Absolutely.
honored to be with
For
it.
anyone out there listening who does not already know and are familiar with Joe, he is the CEO and founder of Scares That Care. And this is a charity that I personally have a distinct love for. And I have a true understanding for what the recipients of what you do and the charitable work that you do, what it means to them.
Hmm.
Uh, my I know I shared the story with you, Joe, but my son, who is now 15 and very healthy, trust me, when he was 4, just before his 5th birthday, he was diagnosed with leukemia. And people just have a tendency not to understand what that really means for families. When I received the bill for his first 10 days in the hospital, it was $72,000.
Yeah.
Um, Thankfully, I was very fortunate to have insurance and that to help and support us through that time. But we all know that that is not the reality for a lot of people. And it is a very difficult time for families to go through when they have to deal with something of this magnitude.
Hmm.
So we cannot even begin to thank you enough for all the work that you do for these wonderful families. So please, this is beyond important to me to showcase your charity.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And I'm glad to hear that your son is doing so much better.
Thank you very much, sir. Um, let's get right into this. The Scares That Care.
Hmm.
You all formed in 2011, I believe.
Hmm. Well,
Okay.
2011 is when we actually got our 501c3 designation. We've
Okay.
actually been doing this charity ever since way back 1996.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
it's been now the Scares That Care.
Hmm.
Obviously, it has a horror theme to
Hmm.
your charity.
Yes.
How did that come about?
Well, the long story short is I'm a retired police detective. And when I was on the job, I was fortunate enough to be head of security for a major East Coast horror convention called Horror Find.
Okay.
And at the same time, like I said, I was on the job, and my partner at the time, his daughter contracted an inoperable brain tumor when she was 3, and she passed when she was 4. I had I don't know if you want to call it an honor or privilege to be one of her pallbearers. Um, but while I was doing all of this, I kind of did some research and I found out that horror fans truly didn't have their own banner with which they could give back. I put two and two together and Scares the Care was born.
And
Wow.
absolutely it's a beautiful charity.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Um, the you also have a lot of backing from the horror community, in particular, uh, Kane Hunter.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Obviously a horror icon, has turned over his burn survivor charity work to you all,
Hmm.
and that obviously shows a significant confidence and in what you all are doing, and because certainly to take over something of that magnitude is very important.
Well, I mean, it was Kane knew me from, like I said, doing the security for the horror conventions and attending the conventions myself when I wasn't working. Kane, knew who I was and what I did, and then as we started ramping up and started building up, Kane said that he wanted to be a part of the charity. With the only stipulation is that each year we had to select somebody who was severely burned. And the neat thing about what it is that we do is whenever I am getting ready to present our burn survivor with his or her check, or the family if it's a young child, um, I always let Kane know in advance. Obviously I have direct contact with him. Um, because he likes to, do a little FaceTime video chat with the family or the individual when I present the check. And we always make sure that we do that. And, Kane is always very, very giving whenever it comes to those types of individuals who have gone through what he went through. And he just likes to make sure that they know that they're not alone. And, if he can do a little, pep talk for them and, let them know things are going to be okay, then that's probably more important than giving the family the check. So we're really grateful to Kane for partnering with us in this endeavor.
Absolutely. And, that it speaks volumes that someone wants to not only give his time that way, but truly loves doing it. It's a wonderful thing that Mr. Hunter does, and greatly appreciate that as well.
Yeah.
Now, you have expanded. You have multiple different events that the Scares That Care put on. Can you talk about some of those?
Sure. Obviously, everybody going through this pandemic is everybody's hurting right now. So we're being very, very pragmatic about what it is that we do, right now and going forward. We were supposed to have a convention this year in Wisconsin, this past weekend, as a matter of fact. But obviously with things that are going on, we put people's lives over money. We're not going to try to force people to come out to a show and risk their lives. So that was going to be our first show in Wisconsin. And then what we also did was every year we're coming up on our 7th year in Williamsburg, Virginia. That is our big show that we do. And right now that show is still on. But again, depending on what happens and depending on what the states decide to do and our own personal feeling, we're in a situation where, again, we're not going to put people's lives over $1. One thing for your listeners should know is that we don't take any money for ourselves. So I'm the founder and CEO. I don't get a paycheck. None of the money that comes in comes to me or the staff or any of our board of directors. We're all volunteers, so we don't put these shows on. We don't need to put these shows on to pay our bills, in other words. So we can, if we need to, we can definitely postpone the show if we have to, because, again, people's lives are more important. And as of right now, we've actually stopped accepting any contributions because a lot of people are out of work. A lot of people are trying to make ends meet. And it's a situation where, it's if you can't help me later, then you're no good to me, and I say that with the caveat of not saying that you wouldn't be good to me anyway, but I would much rather you take care of yourselves now and help me later.
Yeah.
Which is greatly appreciated, sir. We know that there's a lot of struggle going on across the country with this. But I know, Chris, you're in Virginia, correct?
Yes, about 45 minutes outside of Williamsburg.
Okay.
Might be able to do something with that.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. I'm just trying to think. How do we get tickets for these events, sir?
Well, you can go online. Yeah, you can go online. It's scaresthatcareweekend.com is the main website, and then there's 2 sub pages. One is for Wisconsin, one is for Williamsburg, and you click on the Williamsburg page, and it takes you. There's a link there on how to get tickets and things like that. And we are prepared to, if something does happen, we are prepared to, issue refunds and things like that. So, hope it doesn't come to that. I think people are getting a little stir crazy. I think people need a night out, so to speak. But, again, let's be smart about this, and let's not put people's lives in danger for the sake of getting together for a beer.
Absolutely, sir.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Could not agree with you more.
Hmm.
And also, I know that there's other ways that people can give outside of just direct donation.
Hmm.
I found on your site, scaresthatcare.org,
Hmm.
that through Amazon Smiles, eBay Giving Works,
Hmm.
and also I think it's Good Search, if I remember
I think it's
correctly.
good. I think so.
Good
I think so.
Search. There are ways to give that are not directly out of your pocket. So please do, all of our listeners, check out the website and how there are so many multiple ways to give back to this great charity. Is there anything for yourself, sir? Is there anything that you really want to make everyone out there aware of as
Yeah.
far as Scares That Care?
Well, I mean, it's one of those things where, look, I posted up a meme when all of this first started. Everybody, horror fans are truly the only ones abiding by the quarantine because we've seen this movie before. Um,
Very true.
so, we just want, look, everybody loves going to conventions. And one of the things that we truly want people to know is that, when we adopt a family, we adopt them through, um, until such time as they're presented a check, even if subsequently the individual with whom we're collecting for, if, unfortunately, if they were to happen to pass away or anything like that, once we adopt a family, they're adopted until the check is presented. And then a lot of times we're still in contact with many of them.
Mhm.
Um, so people are really, they're worried about the families. They're worried about, you know, uh, um, when are they going to get their check and things like that. And each and every family that we adopt, they understand that we are a very small charity. We have a very large social media footprint, but a large social media footprint doesn't equal large amount of donations. So, with the absence of our Wisconsin show, other shows that we would normally attend as vendors to help raise money, all of that's been kind of put on the back burner. And one thing people should know is when we adopt a family, they understand that it could take a week, it could take a year, it could take 3 years until such time as, they receive their gift. So we're not in any situation or pressure where we need to put on these functions or these events in order to raise money for these folks. Um, we don't have anybody right now, knock on wood, that is in a terminal situation, which is extremely good.
Thank you.
We have had some people in the past that, terminal became something to look at very, very quickly, and we've had to make those calls very rapidly. Um, with that comes, the responsibility of what it is that we do as a charity organization. But right now, we're good. And we just want everybody, look, I'm not going to sit up here and lament about conspiracy theories or, what should people do with their own personal lives or everything like that. Everybody, I think, wants to get back to normal. And I just want everybody to take care of themselves, do what you feel is best in your own personal situation so that we can all get together here as soon as possible and have a good time and help people in need.
Absolutely, sir.
Yeah.
Making sure that we're all here tomorrow to continue this work is more important than anything that we could possibly do today.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And I do have one
and
more. I have one more quick thing, if I may.
oh, absolutely, sir.
Absolutely.
Um, with the passing of Sid Haig,
Yes, sir.
very close to his wife Susie, and obviously we did the in memory of Sid patches, and we raised $6,000 to give to Susie. Um, so we were able to help her out a little bit. We still have some of those patches left, but Susie has given us permission. Each year we adopt a lady who's fighting breast cancer, a
Mm-hmm.
child or adult that's been severely burned, as we've already said, with Kane, um, and a child that is sick or terminally ill. So what we've done is we've gotten permission directly from Susie and to kind of honor Sid, who was always a true class act and a true gentleman, every sense of the word. Our sick child is now known as Uncle Sid's kid. So
That's great.
So we're able to, keep Sid's memory going forward and all the great things that he did for the charity and for us, and that way we want to make sure that he's remembered whenever we do something like that. So I wanted to make sure that we got that in there.
That is absolutely beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
That's good to know.
It's probably one of the best ways that his memory can be honored is by doing something like that. That is absolutely beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
When we post everything, when this video goes up on YouTube, we encourage every one of our subscribers, our viewers, all of our friends and followers on social media to share this and share the links that we will also share back to this beautiful charity. We cannot express enough how much we want to make Scares That Care a household name.
Yeah.
It is something that I feel very strongly about, being part of the horror community and having anything to do with this channel. We need to come together and be a family and a community that cares about each other. And this is incredibly important. So anyone who is watching, listening, or seeing what we're doing, please share.
Mm-hmm.
It means the world to us to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's okay with you, Joe, I will go ahead and include all the links and everything back to your sites and your YouTube video that you have on your site, on our site, and on all of our social media. And we will see how much we can get this to spread through the horror community.
Yeah.
Well, I thank you, and I will caution you.
Yes,
when we do our convention, people may see me dressed up in some bizarre outfits.
Okay.
And the reason for that is our very first convention, we had a big, huge pink bra. And we got all the celebrities to sign it, and we were going to auction it off with that money going to Our Lady who was fighting breast cancer at the time. So I said, what better way to show that we were auctioning the bra off was to, I put it on over my shirt. And I walked into the bar area on Saturday night. And what happened was, instead of people buying tickets, people started shoving 1s, 5s, 10s, and 20s inside the bra. So sometimes through fate or through happenstance, different things are created. And thus was born the Scares That Care bra walk. So now every Saturday night of the convention, I have to dress up in some bizarre ass outfit and stroll through the bar. And people shove all this money inside what is now a corset. And though, when people see that, they get kind of taken aback. Is this a drag event? Is this, no, it's not a drag event. But, one of the things that I'm very, very thankful for is I'm an ordinary guy who came up with an idea that's supported by extraordinary people. And, our volunteers, our staff, our board of directors, our state reps, they're the one who truly deserves all the credit. So when your people go there to the site and they see me dressed up, please know that I do that because if Our Lady who's fighting breast cancer can go through what she's going through for months on end, I can stand about an hour and a half worth of embarrassment to help raise some money for her. So, I just want people to know that when they come to our event, they're going to have a really good time. Everybody, takes care of everybody else. It's safe. All of our kids come, and, it's just a really, really fun time. So just a heads up about this, the strange guy dressed very bizarrely.
Well,
Yeah,
and
awesome.
now that you've given us that warning, and now my brain is starting to turn, because I shared the story about my son going through leukemia, but also I have lost a grandmother and two of my aunts to breast cancer. So now the wheels are starting to turn, and I'm trying to figure out how KC, who wears a 2X, and Slinky, who wears a 3X, how I can possibly get a bra to fit both of them or something.
I'll wear it on my head. Like we
Yeah, down.
You can trust me; they're out there. You can find them.
Oh no, I know they're out there. I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to make them get this thing on, or how I'm going to.
Well, I mean, like I said, it's all about fun, and
Absolutely.
it's all about love, and it's all about having a good time. And it's our show is just like every other horror convention, but it's entirely different from every other horror convention. We're very, very family centric. The kids do a trick or treat. This year we're doing something different because there's maybe some littles that didn't have a chance to have a birthday party with all the stuff going on. So if we can have the convention, there's going to be a big, huge birthday party with cake and ice cream for all the kids that couldn't have a birthday party during the lockdown. So that's one of the things that we're doing. And, all the celebrities love coming to the event. They love the mission. They love the cause. I have, so many celebrities that are constantly calling me, "Hey, Joe, can you fit me in? I'd love to come to your show." And yeah, they're going to make money, but it's more about, hey, I want to come and I want to help out. So that's really a great feeling when that happens. So.
And as we said before when we started all of this, thank you so much for your time, sir. We cannot thank you enough for everything that you do and the work that you're doing, and it means the world to us to know that someone out there in the horror community is giving back in such a beautiful way. And we promise to make it our own personal mission to bring as much light to what you're doing as possible, and help anyone that is a follower on any of our social media or our show to see just what is going on and see how they can help as well. So
well, thank you guys. I appreciate the time. It's a privilege and an honor to speak to you. And I will let you know, if for your listeners who don't know, that so far we have raised and donated $250,000.
That's amazing.
So,
That's cool.
To families in need, and we always put up the picture of the family. I know a lot of people, guys, they have some distrust about charities. My personal opinion, rightfully so. I find it hard to believe that a charity needs to have a CEO that makes a 6 or 7 figure salary. Yeah. But we won't go into that. But we always put up a picture of the family, the recipients, so we put a name to who we're collecting for. So, again, guys, thank you for the time. I appreciate you allowing me to come on and chat, and I'll be happy to come back anytime you need me.
Thank you so much, Joe. And please, look for all this to be posted very shortly. And we will get everything out as quickly as we possibly can. Thank you for your time, and we wish you and the charity all the, success and love that we possibly can.
Stay safe, sir. Stay safe.
Yes, you guys do the same, and we'll chat with you soon.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much for your time, man.